Hi, and welcome to How to Build an App with AI. In this part, I'm going to show you how to use AI to create a nice looking design and how to implement it inside Cursor for your app. Now, just in case you're joining us right now, check out this playlist to catch up on all of the previous parts. All right, let's dive in. So if you've seen my other videos, you'll know I'm quite a fan of this tool called UX Pilot, and you can do designs with AI. Problem is, if you just prompt it like a regular prompt, it's going to create pretty blue and white, businessy type designs that all are going to look like that style. It's kind of like a default style that's not too edgy, not got too much personality, but it's not offensive either. If you want to infuse some uniqueness to your design, we're going to combine Mobbin, which has a lot of screenshots of different apps, with UX Pilot, and I'll show you how to get better results. So I'll leave links in the description for these tools, but you can use them both for free with a free account. Obviously limitations, all of that, but I'm using a free account for Mobbin. As you can see, you can scroll a bunch of screens. With a paid account, you can see all the flows, but we don't need that. We just need a general aesthetic and vibe that we want. So I'm looking for something that might be good for our tip calculator. It doesn't have to be the same type of app. What you're looking for are colors, design styles that you like. So I'm going to use crypto.com. So let's just take a screenshot. Let's see, what screen would be good? How about this screen right here? What you can do is, I don't want to copy, I want to download it. So you can go download. You can download the screen here, but probably a faster way to do it would be just to copy it. Because I think if you download it, it does put a watermark on it. So if you just hold down Command, Shift, and 4, it's like a Mac command that you can do this. The thing is, I don't really want to get the borders. I'm just going to try to not get the borders, the gray borders, because sometimes it's going to confuse the AI, and you'll see what I mean. Now I have a screenshot on my desktop of this design. Now we're going to go back to AI, and we're going to attach that screenshot like so. And then I'm going to use this prompt. I call it describe this design. I'll link to it below. But it's actually just asking it to describe the look and feel of the design and put it into a prompt that I can use. And I'm going to put that prompt into UX Pilot. Okay, so now we can try to do it. So this one I'm actually paying for because it gives you some extra features, but everything I'm showing you now, you don't have to pay for. Let's see. So I want to do a tip calculator, and we're going to give it context. And because we have the requirements doc, we can go here and we can grab some of this context, right? Okay, yeah, I actually grabbed all the steps from 1 all the way to 5, including this screen. All right, so we're going to create that. And then I'm going to choose Hi-Fi Designs. I'm going to choose Mobile App, and this is where we are going to put the prompt for our screen. I usually like to append this part. That's only talking about the vibe and aesthetic. So we'll see what we get. It's kind of like rolling the dice when you're using AI, so we'll see. So the screen that I want to do this with is right here. Design the main screen, design, right, what's on it, and then use this. Here, use this. Now there is an image, upload an image as a reference. But this is a paid feature. You have to be on a paid plan to use this. And plus, actually, I've used it before, and it's not as good of a result as the way I'm doing it here, oddly enough. Let's choose deep design and use more credits. Okay, so this is like double the credits to hopefully get a better design. So we'll see what it comes up with. All right, so here's what we got. The aesthetic it really does look like this, right? But it actually copied it too much. What is this? What is this progress bar? Oh, this is a dark mode versus light mode. I think the sky motif, that's like a starry night, doesn't really make sense in this regard. But I do like there's a soft glow to things. Maybe I picked the wrong design for a tip calculator because like there is a starry night motif here. I don't see any glow on the buttons though. It added this glow here, which is kind of cool, I guess. I don't like these like little arrows and graphs. That's more of like a finance thing. So here's the thing you can do with this though. That's pretty cool if you can get that to work. Split pay. It even gave my app a name. Premium edition. I didn't say that we had that. Okay, so here's what you can do. You can edit specific things. If you click on edit, you actually go to global edit, and then you can tell it what to do. So I would say remove the starry background, remove the progress bar under the heading, remove the line chart in the lower right corner of the bill amount. Oh, is this a little button to take a photo of the receipt instead of entering the amount? That is really cool. That is an idea I haven't thought about. Or no, actually, it's just the title of the box. Yeah. Oh, but it'd be so cool, right? If you had a button, instead of having to enter an amount, just take a photo. I also usually write, don't change anything else. You hit go, and it's going to create a new version of it. You can always go back to the first version by using these back and forward arrows. Okay, so it's actually done a pretty good job. Remove the starry background, remove the progress bar below tip calculator. It removed the line chart from the bill amount. It basically did exactly what I asked it to do, and it kept everything the same. Now, if it starts to get finicky, because I know prompting AI sometimes is just such a dice roll, that you're not getting the results you want, you can save to Figma, and you can manually then click things and hide them and delete them, and then export the screenshot, like the final design. This is a paid feature. There's lots of features which I think are worth the $12 a month or something, whatever it is. And again, I'll leave my link below. It's a referral link at no extra cost to you. I'll get a little kickback, so thank you for that if you end up using that. But besides the point, even if you use it for free, I think it's a great tool. What we haven't done is if you have a multi-screen app, you can then add a screen to the right or to the left, and you can create like a flow, like a whole start to finish design. I won't show you the save to Figma part here in this video because this is not about this tool, but what we've done here is good enough to bring in the cursor. So let me just minimize this a little bit so I can see the full thing. And you can, I think exporting may be a paid feature. I don't remember, but if you can't export, I think in the beginning, what I did was just literally take a screenshot. Do you remember how I did it with Mobbin? Command-Shift-4, you just select that, and you just go ahead and take that screenshot. Try not to take the little outlines behind it, because any little detail, sometimes AI will pick up on that and try to integrate those little outlines into your design. That's not what you want. So now what we can do is go back to cursor, and we can add that design from my desktop. Is this the one? Yes. Oh, I have this white outline. I don't want that. So that. I think that's a little more accurate. Give it a couple of seconds there. And then I'll move it to my instructions folder. And you usually have to just, there we go. Sometimes if you try to reference the screenshot or that image you added and it's not finding it in here, sometimes you just have to click it, let it load first. It's almost like it doesn't know about it until it does. And what I should have done is rename it. So I'm going to try to rename it here. I'm just going to call it main screen design, because now it's just easier to search for main screen design. There it is. Now you can try to one-shot this. Chances are it's not going to get there 100%, but then you can prompt it and tweak it and slowly work your way there. So I'm just going to throw a Hail Mary here, and I'm going to say change the, actually we'll also give it context to the main screen. I think it's content view, because this is where all the code is. This is where it also pays to know a little bit of SwiftUI, because then you can click into your files and you can know where things are. But your default project only has 2 files anyways. This is the app entry point. You know that because of the at main. Doesn't contain any like view code or whatever. Content, you can see that here. It has an instance of content view. And that's this screen. And you see all this code here. Right? And so I'm going to give it context to the content view. You probably don't have to, since there's so little files in this project. Change the main screen to match the main screen design.png. All right, let's see. You know what I could have said is ignore any features in the screenshot that we don't have, because now AI might actually go and try to implement new features based off of what it sees inside here. So this is where I think it really pays to have worked with this stuff. Like the more you do this, even though it's not specifically coding, it's a skill to know how to work with AI and how to prompt it in a way where you get what you are looking for and not anything more and not anything less. AI has a tendency to just run off the rails. Anyways, I will resume the video when it's finished doing its thing and we'll see where it gets to. All right, so it's just done its thing. Let's run this together and find out how close it looks to our design. I'm not expecting a lot, so we'll see. Okay, so here we go. Actually, you know what? This might be dark mode. I wonder if, so I was taught a shortcut key to go into dark mode, but unfortunately it activates something else on my computer. So I am gonna have to do it this way, dark mode or developer, there it is. No, it's not. Okay, I guess we could, wait, it is. Sweet. So this did a lot more than I thought it would. It definitely looks a lot better than it did before. And I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest. It doesn't look exactly alike, but we can go from here. Structurally, I can see the resemblance. Like color-wise, maybe not. Font-wise, maybe not as well. So it would have helped if we knew what fonts they were and stuff like that. I think we'll stop it here. I think you've got a good basis to go on. Part of the fun of this is experimentation and just playing around with it. I'm probably going to do a deeper video into using UX Pilot. We'll go into Figma, and actually there's a developer mode in Figma too, where you can get the SwiftUI code for the different elements, and then you can start to just move things over manually instead. That way you have more control and you can get things looking more like the actual design rather than just trying to use AI to one-shot it like this. What I do want to move on to is showing you how to take the information and the skills that you've gained in all of these parts and how to apply it to your own app idea. So let's talk about app ideas. Now it's your turn, but you have to find good app ideas. And I want to take a couple of minutes to share with you what I've learned about this. If you find the right search phrases that people are using to look for apps on the App Store, and there isn't a lot of competition for these search phrases, then you can align your app with these search phrases so that it shows up where people are already looking. We call these search phrases keywords. And the beauty of this approach is that, number one, it's data-driven. And that means that we're not guessing at what apps people need. And number two, it doesn't require a lot of manual marketing effort. We can still get downloads as long as the keyword is not too competitive. And if you do this right, you're going to get visibility and downloads from the App Store for free. We call this organic traffic, meaning it just comes naturally. It's not paid traffic, and it's not traffic where you are manually telling people to go and download your app. I've done this with a handful of apps, as you can see here, and it's actually working. I haven't marketed any of these apps with the exception of Daily Parent, and it's getting downloads naturally. Now, it's not a waterfall of free downloads, but each app has been improving in its rankings, and together they combine to do some pretty decent volume. And with the AI app building process that you just learned, creating a collection of these apps is totally doable. Now, how do you get started doing this? Well, you use a tool like Astro to do research and find these keyword opportunities. And then you just build the app to satisfy the searcher. I did a whole video on how to use Astro and to do keyword research for the App Store, and you can watch it right over here. I'll also link the tool in the video below. Congratulations on finishing how to build an app with AI. Now you have everything you need. You know how to find app ideas, you know how to take that idea and create a requirements doc and how to build it inside Cursor using the BTS method. And number 3, you know how to create a unique app design and how to implement it. Now, after that, it's going to be about app marketing and getting users. Now, the tricky part of this is that it's always changing. Marketing strategies come and go, and it can be pretty daunting as a solo creator, but let me tell you, you don't have to go at it alone. I'm launching a brand new community of app builders just like you, with step-by-step courses, daily support from me. Yes, I'll be there answering questions, live events, boot camps, and members who have already launched their own apps. So if you want to stay motivated and actually finish your app, if you want to discuss the latest marketing strategies and what's working these days, or if you just want to be around people who are just as passionate as you are about building apps, then this is the place to be. It'll be ready in September, so tap on this link to join the waitlist and I'll send you a heads up when it's ready. Either way, I hope this video series was helpful for you. I hope you learned something new. And if you end up building something using this workflow and these skills that I shared with you, please let me know by commenting below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.